Hey everyone, this is Zach from Start Abroad. Today we're going to be talking about who qualifies for Costa Rica's digital nomad visa and who it might be right for. The digital nomad visa is relatively easy and straightforward to secure, especially when compared to Costa Rica's temporary residency options like the Inversionista and Pensionado and Rentista visas, and it's much cheaper and quicker to get. Importantly, who is this visa right for? So Costa Rica does have generous tourist visa terms, and so for some people, just coming as a tourist is going to make more sense. But the digital nomad visa can be a great option for certain people. If you're a family, specifically a young family, that wants to legally spend 1 to 2 years in Costa Rica and doesn't want to have to worry about things like border runs or maybe getting locked out of the country for whatever reason, the digital nomad visa is a pretty affordable, pretty easy way to just not have to worry about things. Some companies require that their employees have permissions to work from Costa Rica, and so the digital nomad visa is going to be the easiest and fastest way to get that. The last is if you're a Category 2 or Category 3 national that otherwise has restricted access to Costa Rica. Costa Rica's Immigration Authority categorizes countries into 4 categories. Category 1 includes countries like the US, Canada, the UK, France. As a national from one of those countries, you're allowed to come to Costa Rica. You come on the tourist visa, you typically get 90 to 100 days to be here, no problem. But Category 3 nationals, for instance, can only come for 30 days and they're required to get a visa. Those countries include places like Turkey or India. A lot of people who want to come and spend a year or two legally in Costa Rica or come for more time than they would otherwise be allowed to. For those countries, if you have a work permit or residency in a Category 1 country, like the US or Canada, you can apply for the digital nomad visa on the basis of your residency in a Category 1 country and get the digital nomad visa. So if you're an Indian national and you've been working in Canada for 2 years and you have a work permit and you say, oh, I'd like to go spend a year or two in Costa Rica, this is how to do it. But who qualifies for Costa Rica's digital nomad visa? The single most important requirement is that you can demonstrate that you've made at least $3,000 per month over the 12 months prior to your submission. If you're going to be bringing any dependents with you, that needs to be $4,000 per month over the 12 months prior to your application submission. To prove that you meet that requirement, you're going to need to submit 12 months of bank statements. Pay stubs can work, but bank statements are preferred. You also need some manner to verify that income. There's 2 ways to do this. The first is get an apostille letter from your bank in the US, Canada, or the UK. The second way is to get an accredited Costa Rican accountant to write what's called a certified income statement for you. Essentially, they review your bank statements and say, I reviewed these bank statements. Yes, this person meets the financial requirement. Remember that all of your financial documents need to be translated by a certified Costa Rican translator before submission. Important note, passports also need to be translated. The US passports already have Spanish in them, so those don't need to be translated. But if you're applying from Canada or the UK or any country that doesn't already have Spanish in your passport, that's going to need to be translated as well. Beyond the financial requirements, there's a few other things you're going to need to submit when you're applying for Costa Rica's digital nomad visa. The first thing you're going to need is health insurance that covers you up to $50,000 per year. This creates challenges for a lot of people because you might already be paying for health insurance in your home country, but unless it specifically covers you in Costa Rica, it's not going to count. You need to make sure that your health insurance policy covers you specifically in Costa Rica, that it covers for the term of your visa, and that it covers for at least $50,000. Proof of your health insurance policy also needs to be in Spanish. You're also going to need a signed application form for the digital nomad visa, which you can download online. A relatively new requirement is called consular registration. So if you're coming from the US, for instance, you need to register with the US consulate that you're going to be in Costa Rica. Then you need to get that proof of that registration translated and submit that with your application. Same thing with any national. So if you're coming from Canada or the UK, you need to register with the consulate or embassy that covers Costa Rica. The last requirement is proof that you've paid the government application fees associated with the visa. There's 2 major application fees you're going to pay. The first, before you submit your step 3, and the second is before you complete your in-person step 4 appointment. These are receipts that you get at Banco CR. They need to include your passport number and your full name. Remember too that if you're going to bring any family members, so if you're going to bring your children or your spouse, you're going to need an apostille birth certificate or marriage certificate, and all of that needs to be translated in Spanish. The visa can be renewed for a second year. It's a relatively straightforward and easy process to get it renewed. You want to give yourself 6 to 8 weeks before your first year expires to start the renewal process. It does require that you submit financial documentation again. It's going to require a few more translations, and you're going to need to make another government application fee payment. But it's all pretty manageable once you've gone through that first process. Remember that we, Start Abroad, are here to help. We've helped a lot of clients get their digital nomad visas and otherwise make the transition to Costa Rica as smooth and economical as possible. Please check out our website at www.startabroad.com or reach out to us at info@startabroad.com. We'd love to support your move. We offer free 15-minute consultations, and we'd love to connect with you when the time is right.